Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're ranking the top 10 must-have cards here in NBA 2K25 My Team. I think this is a great video to do. I haven't done it yet this year, but I need to start mixing it in because I did it several times last year and y'all seemed to enjoy it. It's a good video because it mixes in free cards, expensive cards, budget cards, and just kind of shows you at least my opinion of the types of cards you should be prioritizing trying to get on your team in all of those categories. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. Uploading every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe for the most My Team content on the platform. Without further ado, let's hop right into it and let's talk. So number 10 is going to be Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. The reason that Jaren is only number 10, he's a very good card, but he does play a position with a lot of good cards as well. At the power forward position, he's a little expensive, not crazy. Like, you probably can get even a badged out Jaren for less than 200 KMT in all likelihood. Now, for a super run, you're going to have to pay more than that. But overall, he's a super solid card who kind of does everything well at the power forward position, has a fast jump shot, elite versatile defender. One of those guys who can still compete at the very highest level. He's my starting power forward on my God squad. He plays a very common position, and he's not like way better than the other top cards at the position or anything like that. But he's a very good card who can compete at a very high level. And I have no issues whatsoever with him at number 10. Number 9 is going to be Eddie Jones. The reason I have Eddie Jones, he's one of 2 shooting guards on this list, I believe. And the reason I have this card is because, again, less than 200 KMT, you can get a badged out version. Guy who can slash, shoot, has some playmaking, decent SIGs actually, which is nice. And also very fast jump shot, and defensively, he's a very good defender. Now, I know that he's got a lower interior rating. I still think overall he's a top 5-ish shooting guard in my team. I think he can very much compete with the very best shooting guards in the game. And again, is a guy who doesn't really have any significant real flaws because he can shot create a bit. He's got the slashing, he's got the shooting, he's got the defense. Like a guy who's going to do everything well and compete with the most expensive cards in the game at his position at a very, very, very high level. Now, number 8. This is a similar card, slightly cheaper, which is why he's a little bit higher than Jaren Jackson Jr., which is PJ Brown. He's a cheaper Jaren. Now, he's not actually, in my opinion, quite as good as Jaren, but when you can get him for less than 100 KMT, less than half the price of Jaren, he's another guy who gives you elite size, a lot of solid speed, elite defense, elite finishing, off rise up, bunch of post finishing badges, 95 standing, 95 interior, 95 block, elite level defense across the board. And his jumper, yes, he's only got a 73 ball. He's got the exact same jumper as Tyson Chandler has. It's actually a very good, smooth, easy jumper. So just a couple shooting badges added. Like you had set shot specialist, slippery off ball, and then a couple other badges to him, maybe a lightning launch or a challenger, a couple other shooting badges if you want, like Deadeye. He is a really, really good card, and he's got no significant flaws at the center position at all, or power forward. Like he's a guy who the biggest flaws that he has are not actually, in my opinion, particularly real flaws that you have to worry about too much. He's a really, really good card, and for his price especially, a guy who's got a ton of value and deserves to be decently high on the list. Number 7 is Paolo Banchero. Yes, he's more expensive. He's kind of the Eddie Jones, Jaren Jackson Jr. of the small forward position is what he is. But his value is that he's 6'10", and he gets every single badge in the game once he's badged up. So he's incredibly complete 6'10" small forward. That type of size is hard to overestimate how valuable it is. You know what I'm saying? Because he can guard the best small forwards in the game. And we're getting Opal LeBron on Friday. Paulo will be able to guard Opal LeBron. He'll be fine. He's got the speed. He's got the shooting. He's got the smooth jumper. He's got the defense all the way around, and he's got he just does everything well. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is the type of card who can play at the very highest level for a very affordable price. And yes, he's a little bit more expensive than some of the other cards on this list. I just don't really care that much, to be totally honest, because he's so good at what he gives you that there's no reason to not run Paolo Banchero at all, is basically what I'm saying. He gives you, again, basically everything, and that is valuable at the small forward position. So, and he can play power forward as well. So that positional versatility is also very valuable. Now, number 6, Jack Sikma. The reason I include Jack Sikma is mainly because he was just free. Him being free, obviously, increases the value of the card from Triple Threat Park for that 5-game win streak. And so if you were able to take advantage of that and get him for free on Sunday, you got a free power forward who is a competitive level card. Again, can play the center position as well if need be, and is a great shooter, has an absolutely incredible jump shot with a good 3-ball rating, and he is one of the best shooters in my team off the pick and pop. He also rebounds incredibly well and guards in the interior at a very high level. He's one of those guys who I feel like winds up getting slept on a little bit just because he's a little bit slower at this point, 78 speed. but he is as good as any small forward or as any power forward or center in my team, pretty much, especially as a shooter. Overall, even not just as a shooter, like as an overall card, he is legitimately one of the best power forward centers in my team, and his shooting is so good. Getting him for free, which I hope you all were able to take advantage of, is a absolute steal and makes him a incredibly good value option at the power forward position. Number 5 is going to be, yes, he is very expensive, but he is also one of the best cards in the game, if not the best card in the game, and that is Victor Wembanyama. The reason that he is at number 5 is because to get a Wemby, you're still paying $1 million MT. More than that if you want to soup him with extra badges and stuff. I get that that is unrealistic to a lot of people, and that's a problem, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that's great, but he is, you can't overstate the fact that he's one of the best cards in the game, without a doubt. He is still, if not the best card in the game, the second best card in the game, and you just can't argue with 7'4" and a jumper that's almost impossible to contest and decent speed that, especially at his size, plays fast. Like, you just can't argue with it. He's so good at everything. I don't see how he's not still, in my opinion, the best card in the game. I get that he's $1 million MT, but he's so good at his position that it's like, is he a must-have card? In some ways, I kind of say, yeah. That's just my opinion, but it's just where I am with this Wemby card right now. I think even though he's so expensive, top 5 is probably fair. Number 4, the only point guard on this list, Alex Caruso. We have just not gotten great value point guards as of late, although we are getting Diamond Lonzo Ball and Diamond Marcus Smart as well in the near future. But Alex Caruso is your only like buyout type point guard. He's not quite a buyout. Well, sometimes he is a buyout. Sometimes he's not quite a buyout, but he's right about 100K. And he's going for, or what he gives you is defense mainly. You know, I'm 6'5", 6'5" wingspan, half glove, off pest, normal menace, pick dodger, good interior, good block, decent strength, 89 speed, 95 agility, also very athletic. So he's an elite defensive point guard who's a great slasher as well with a 90 driving dunk. And he's got an 85 three ball and a smooth release. He is my backup point guard on my God squad right now, quite simply because I don't feel like you need to pay 400 or 500 KMT for some of the other top point guards when you can get a guy like Caruso who's going to give you just as much, if not more than those guys defensively and a ton of offensive capability as well for 100 KMT. He's a great value, and I find him as an awesome buy as well. Now, I get this card is also very expensive. Kristaps Porzingis. The reason that I have KP higher than Wemby, despite the fact that KP is not as good as Wemby, is because KP is half the price of Wemby. You can get him for 500-ish thousand MT right now. And this is an elite level shooting big, similar to KP in that he's tough to contest, especially for a shorter defender. Not quite as glitchy in that aspect, but 80 speed, good defender. Not unbelievably insanely OP or anything, but again, you just can't overstate the value of 7'2", elite level shooter, good speed, does everything well, high level rebounder. Like, especially if you can get a couple extra hoffs on him, like if you can get Hoff paint patroller, Hoff immovable, Hoff rebound chaser, stuff like that on KP, he becomes one of the best cards in my team. Already is one of the best cards in my team. He's the second best center in the game, but his price makes him a better value than Wemby, and that's why I have him at the number 3 spot. Number 2, the last super expensive card on this list is Dr. J. Julius Irving. He's the best shooting guard in the game. And the biggest thing about this card is not only is he the best shooting guard in the game, he's the best shooting guard in the game by a significant margin. There are no other shooting guards in my team that are as elite as he is offensively, defensively, shooting, slashing, and SIGs, most importantly. He gives you better shot creation than any other card in my team. He's the best shot creator in the game right now. Dribble style isn't top tier, but his escape is, his jump shot is, his fade is, and his behind the back is. He moves phenomenally well, and he is an exceptional defender. Having that 98 vert, 93 strength, 96 speed agility, incredible athletic ability, in addition to an 86 interior, 85 block, 94 perimeter, 92 steal, 6'7", tall player build, good wingspan, afro that makes him look bigger, incredible slasher, one of the best jumpers in my team. Like, he is a truly non-flawed card, and I've had him basically since the day he came out, except for when I sold all my cards on my lineup for a couple weeks there. And then first 2 cards I bought back when I decided to come back and start playing the game again were Dr. J and Victor Wembanyama, because they're the 2 best cards in the game. And I think Dr. J especially, the thing about Wemby is there's other guys at his position that are somewhat comparable. Dr. J doesn't really have that, and he's a little cheaper than Wemby. That's why I have Dr. J as the number 2 card on this list. With that being said, the number 1 card on this list is a free card. Level 40 David Robinson. He's the only truly unbelievably top tier free card in the game. He's the 3rd best center in the game, in my opinion, behind KP and Wemby, although you could make an argument that he is the 2nd best center over KP if you wanted to. It's not an argument that I personally would make, but I don't really have an issue with that being an argument that you're willing to make if you want to. I do think he's a very good card, and not a particularly flawed one. Like, I really like the card a lot, and I think he is very, very elite at the center position, and I wish he could play power forward. If I was making one critique of this card, it'd be that I wish he could play the power forward position, because outside of that, he has Again, no real flaws at this point in my team. I know his jumper's not unbelievably game breaking or anything like that. Like, the jumper could certainly be better, but I can live with a not unbelievably top tier jump shot on D-Rob. For a guy who gives you all the speed, all the shooting still. I mean, the jumper's, honestly, I like the jump shot. It's just when it slows down, it can be annoying. And honestly, he does get some weird load ups at times and stuff as well. But I've always liked D-Rob's jumper. Even this year, I still do. His completeness stat and badge wise is elite. He gives you all the size in the world at 7'1" with a 7'5" wingspan. Again, he's free. And he's the best free card in the game by far. And that, to me, makes him the most must-have card in my team. That is going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.